This is my PC setup, and in this series, I'm gonna recreate it completely out of Lego to then play a Lego video game on. So for the first part of the setup, we're gonna build the mouse. It'll work exactly like a normal mouse, but it'll be made out of Lego. Let's do this. All right, so I have a mouse motherboard right here, and it has a scroll wheel, and it has all the buttons we're gonna need on it, and actually gets power through AAA batteries. So the first thing we need to do is make a case for these AAA batteries out of Lego so they can actually power this. So we can get some 1x6 bricks and put them on each side of this plate, and then we kind of just have to like wedge them in here, and then put this other piece on this side, and then for the other battery, just put it against this, and have it touch that. Make sure that these right here don't touch because I'm pretty sure those will break something if they do. Okay, and then let's see if this turns on. And there we go. Oh shoot, what'd I do? I smell burning. I had these two ends touching just barely, so hopefully I didn't break anything. All right, well, it was really tedious to get into those bricks, but it's working now. You can see the sensor right here. So I didn't break anything, even though I did smell smoke. But yeah, now that we got this, we gotta actually start designing the mouse. So I'm gonna put plates as a base layer, and the only thing that needs to be open on the bottom is right here for the sensor. So I can put like this plate right here, and then put 2x2s on the side of it, so then it like fits basically perfectly for that sensor to still be open right there. And then behind that, I can just add another one, and this is probably where we'll end up putting the batteries. So you can kind of get to see the layout there, and then we can build around the edges and make this look like a mouse. I also just realized that the on and off switch is right here, so we're gonna have to make a hole for it right here. Now, since the motherboard kind of sits loose in here and it's not gonna line up perfectly with studs, the way that we can secure it is by using rubber pieces. So I have this little thing that's just 2 studs with rubber pieces on it, and then we can put that in right here. And then we can do the same thing for the back, just a little wider. And then we can put one more set of rubber pieces on the very front, and this thing isn't going anywhere. It's super secure. So with putting in this cage, I can already feel the mouse coming along, like I can actually like fit it in my palm now. But to help interlock these plates on the bottom and to help with it sliding, we're gonna add some of these like circular disc pieces to the bottom. This makes it so less of the mouse is actually touching the table, which makes it smoother. And then it also interlocks these plates together so that we can actually not have this fall apart. Well, now that we got the motherboard placed, we gotta place the batteries back here, which is definitely gonna be a pain again. Well, I finally got the batteries in, but yeah, that was a struggle. But I realized that we got a different issue, and that's that this sensor is too far from the bottom to actually sense mouse movement, even with taking these bottom skates off. So I need to shorten this plate and tile to just 1 tile for the sensor to work. So I'm gonna use these plates that are half tile, half plate to achieve that, and hopefully we can get this to work. Well, finally, after fiddling with these batteries for about 2 hours, I got them secure and they're pretty in place. I don't want to shake it too much, but they should be stuck in there and everything's working. The mouse sensor is close enough to the ground. So if I have my computer here and bring the mouse to the corner, you can see it's working as it's supposed to, which is good. So now we got to figure out how to turn these buttons into side buttons, and then figure out these 2 mouse clicks right here with Lego. And then I also want to do something special with the scroll wheel. All right, so I came up with this design to click these buttons right here, and it looks way more complicated than it is. I have these whole like sections made of Technic pieces, and all it really does is hinge down. So this is the button part, and then it presses the button right there. So it's pretty simple with how it works. So then I just have 2 of those right here, and then let's put a cover on it so they don't fall apart. But I can click them and they both click and they both register. So yeah, it works really well. And yeah, I know the mouse is kind of squarish right now, but we'll fix that later. Now for the actual mouse top buttons, they need to press those really tiny red buttons in there. And so for that, I made this little thing. So yeah, this piece, if I put it on right here, it's hinged from back here. And then up front here, it actually clicks like perfectly. It's really satisfying. So yeah, I'll probably end up doing something like this for the top buttons. All right, so I made this arm thing with a rubber band, and you can see it kind of just like springs back down. And the reason I made this is so I can put a wheel right there. And then this can attach down on here. And then the wheel goes down on the scroll wheel. So when you turn the Lego one, it's supposed to turn the scroll wheel. And it was working really well. The only issue with it is it's gonna scroll the opposite direction. But then as you can probably tell, the scroll wheel isn't on here anymore. It's literally just connected to it with plastic and it broke off while experimenting with stuff. So we're just gonna try hot gluing this back on. All right, this hot glue should work if it actually sticks. That did not stick. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this to work. We need super glue, if anything, but then if I screw up the super glue one bit, then it's cooked. All right, so the hot glue didn't work, so we're gonna try super glue. Right on there. Shoot. This is not working. I just got so much super glue around where it spins, so I don't even know if this will spin anymore. Well, I put it back on, and I don't know if this is gonna work because of all that glue there, but if it doesn't, then I guess we're not having a scroll wheel, but if it does, then we can still have a scroll wheel. All right, guys, I've waited like 5 minutes, and if this is glued, I feel like it should be dry by now. So moment of truth. Yeah, that is not spinning. I think I glued it shut. Well, we're not gonna have a working scroll wheel. All right, I'm gonna rebuild the scroll wheel because now my idea with the rubber band and everything is useless. So yeah, now I just have to build a wheel that scrolls. Okay, so although I broke the scroll wheel, I think what I did made up for it. So you can see it scrolls like a scroll wheel, but of course that won't translate to an actual mouse movement because it's broken, but it does scroll. Shoot, I did not think through this, did I? And then I have it click this button down there. It's hard to see, but then it springs right back up from it. And what I just realized is I thought that was the mouse click button, which would be perfect for this, but it's not. This is the mouse click button. The button I'm having this click is the DPI button, which changes the sensitivity. So I kind of screwed that up. Yeah, let's see if I can make it hit this one instead. Okay, that wasn't too bad to fix. I just made this extender out here that comes out front instead, and then it perfectly clicks that button. So I did end up using the rubber band again to attach it to this upper arm. So then it springs back up to it and it kind of adds that button clicky to it. So yeah, now I just need to add the right click and then we should have all the buttons working and then we can work on making this look like a mouse. Okay, well I got everything on here and it all works except the scroll wheel, of course. So everything clicks. I extended the mouse keys out front a little bit just so it's a little more comfortable. Hopefully it's not too weak. They're only held on by one stud, but they seem to be working. So yeah, now I'm just gonna add some curves and make this thing look actually good. I got a bunch of slopes here to do that with, so let's do it. All right, there's the finished Lego mouse. So I ended up going with a blue and gray theme and then with a couple black accents like this wheel and then the bottom layer down there. Compared to my usual mouse, it's really thick, if you want to call it that. It's also way heavier, but I do have a super light mouse, so that's kind of unfair. It literally says super light on the side of my mouse, but it still is really heavy. So yeah, on this side, I kind of just went for normal curves and everything. And then on the other side, I wanted to make like a little indent for the side buttons, because on the other controllers, you can kind of see how there is that indent for your thumb. So I tried to do it. You can see it easier from the bottom, how it's a little indent. It goes out right here, kind of for your palm. I just realized that stud right there needs to be covered up. Hold up. There we go. But the blue accents do look really nice, so you can see them like by the buttons and stuff. I have them right here. I have them in this little slit. And then on this side, I really like this. I made a super thin line of blue just to change it up a little bit. This side's really boring because it's just like all the same tiles. But yeah, the mouse turned out really well. So now what I want to do is test to make sure every single button works on the mouse. Okay, so I'm on a mouse tester right now and you can see that the mouse is working. And then we'll just go over here to the test and then test. So that's normal left click, works. Right click, works. Click in on the scroll wheel. Let's go, it works. Scroll on scroll wheel does not work because I broke it, but it would have worked if I didn't break the wheel off. And then we got the two side buttons. So we'll do the front one. There we go, and back one. Both of them work perfectly. It's super cool actually how everything is working exactly as I hoped. It's so cool. It's a mouse made completely out of Lego. All right guys, I got my friend Carson here. He's basically a Fortnite pro, so we're gonna have him test the Lego mouse.
Yeah.
And see how he likes it.
Fortnite pro, huh?
Self-made pro. Self-acclaimed? I don't know how to say that. Look, this adapter right here. Okay, there you go.
Yo.
Okay, initial impressions. It's not on.
It doesn't move. All right, what's my sense at right now? This thing's sick, bro. Look, we're already cranking 90s, bro. Yo, my aim's kind of crazy with the Lego.
No! What? No! No! For those of you that didn't understand, my friend literally won a 1v1 against me with the Lego mouse while I used a normal mouse. Yeah, let's forget about this. We ended up swapping, so I was using the Lego mouse, my friend was using a normal mouse, and yet I still lost.
No! No, bro, I was so low.
What's your thoughts on the mouse, Carson?
I thought it was actually pretty fun. I was kind of going like this while playing.
Okay. I mean, it works, so that's good. Well, there we go. We got the first part to the Lego PC setup. Next episode is gonna be the keyboard. Building this computer mouse out of Lego was a lot harder than I thought it would be, especially with the batteries. I spent forever on fiddling with those and trying to get them in, and they haven't come undone since I originally got them in there, which is good. It is sad that I broke the scroll wheel, but other than that, it's really good. It's a little big, but it works, like completely. So yeah, get ready for the next parts of this series. I'm literally gonna be making a PC out of Lego for the very last episode. But yeah, if you're watching this a while after this video comes out, the next parts might already be out, so I'll have a link to the playlist up here and you can check. But as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Finally, bro, we are actually back. I'm literally editing this video of making this mouse while using this mouse. It's pretty interesting, and it actually does work surprisingly well for this, but I think I'll stick to my normal mouse. As soon as I start filming, they're as noisy as they could possibly be. She turns on a podcast and does dishes. Horrible combination.
Wait, is the camera rolling? It's massive.
Massive? You know what else is massive?
Low taper face.
Why is my... What are you doing? What's your thoughts on the mouse, Carson?
It's massive. You know what else is massive?
The city never sleeps, so we all sleep. While we look for love all night, 'cause we can't find it at the bars.